Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Just to introduce myself, so my name's Emma McKelvey and I work for the South Australian Tourism Commission, and I'm here to talk all things luxury in Adelaide and South Australia. So what I'll do is I'll just bring my presentation up now, so hopefully you can all see that. But what I'm going to focus on today, because we've only got 10 minutes, is I'm going to focus on a luxury 6-day itinerary in South Australia. And I thought it'd be really useful to sort of highlight as well how this itinerary can be part of a much bigger Australian holiday. Because we know that when people go to Australia, they do tend to visit on average 2 to 3 different states. And you've had some wonderful content all through the week on the incredible experiences and places that your customers can stay. So really useful to know how you can incorporate them into a full itinerary with South Australia. So first of all, South Australia is the only state which borders every other mainland state and territory in Australia, which is great. So that means that your customers can easily pair Adelaide and South Australia with the rest of the country. So, for example, those coming maybe from Sydney on the East Coast, it's only a 2-hour flight from Sydney to Adelaide. Or on the West Coast, you've got Perth, just a 3-hour flight away. For any customers that enjoy road tripping, getting out on that open road, you can combine Adelaide and Melbourne on a road trip along the Great Ocean Road. And another really unique way to incorporate 2 different states is on our luxury Ghan train. So that train journey includes, or it goes from Adelaide right the way up through the Red Centre onto Darwin. So plenty of ways to pair South Australia with the rest of the country, which is great and really position itself well for that multi-centre holiday. But once your customers get into Adelaide, their main gateway into South Australia, to give you an idea of what the landscape is like, we've got beautiful beaches and stunning coastline on one side, just 20 minutes away. And then 20 minutes in the other direction, you've got these green vineyard dotted hills full of wineries and wildlife. So 2 amazing contrasts right on the doorstep of the city. And wildlife and wine are really what this state is known for. So we were awarded a National Park City status in December 2021. And there's only 2 cities in the world to get National Park City status. So it's pretty cool that we're one of them. And I think it really goes to show the emphasis we've got on looking after our green spaces around the city and really looking after our wildlife as well. And then for the wine, we are Australia's vineyard city and we're one of the great wine capitals of the world. So we've actually got over 200 wineries within an hour's drive of Adelaide. So your customers are completely spoilt for choice with wineries and which ones to visit. So for Adelaide, I would recommend having a 3-night stay in the city when they first arrive. And that will give them then 2 full days to really see some of the amazing things on offer around the city. So a couple of activities that I just want to mention today. The first one is Southern Cultural Immersions. So this is some new Indigenous touring product that we've got in Adelaide. And I think that that's amazing to have that sort of product from the city. We know that you can get some amazing cultural tours out in the outback, but of course, not everyone has time to get out to the outback. So from the city, they can do a cultural walking tour where they'll get all the benefits of a normal walking tour, like finding their bearings around the city, finding the best places to visit. But by having an Aboriginal guide with them, they're going to learn that really important First Nations history. They're going to be shown some really significant Aboriginal sites. And I think it's a very important and very unique thing that they can experience in Adelaide. But they can also see the wildlife. You know, we've got Temptation Sailing there that offer day cruises or sunset cruises out to swim with wild dolphins. We've got the Adelaide Oval roof climb. So for those that don't know, the Adelaide Oval is Adelaide's main sporting stadium, particularly well known for the cricket. So you can do an amazing roof climb there. And you can also And even for those that aren't big sporting fans, it's really great just to do that walk up there over the top, and you've got incredible views out over the city. And for those that do want to experience some of those 200 wineries, we've got a number of great tour operators that can take your customers out there. So just to name a few of them, you've got Taste of South Australia, Taste the Barossa, Small Batch Wine Tours, and also Coast & Co. So all of them really specialise in that small group wine touring, but they can also offer bespoke private touring as well if your customers want to design their own itinerary and have just a really intimate experience with them and the tour guides. And then with where to stay in Adelaide, we've had a real hotel boom over the last couple of years, and we're now spoilt for choice with 5-star hotels. But a couple of the favourites are the Sofitel. So that beautiful sort of French chic interior doesn't get much more luxury than having 3 chandeliers over your indoor swimming pool. So that's definitely a favourite with customers that tend to stay in Sofitels all around Australia. And then for something a bit more boutique, there's the EOS by Sky City. This offers 120 rooms, so, you know, a bit more of a smaller scale, but it's got a great spa and outdoor swimming pool. So I definitely recommend that one as well. Then moving on from Adelaide, I would recommend their next stop on the itinerary is Kangaroo Island. Now, this is really the jewel in Australia's crown. It's just the perfect place to go for those customers wanting to see that native Australian wildlife, but in the wild. And that's seeing koalas, kangaroos, echidnas, wallabies. We've got beaches filled with rare Australian sea lions. Our sea is filled with wild dolphins, and seasonally it's got whales as well. So it's the perfect place for that nature and wildlife retreat. But one thing to note is that it is a big island. It's 6 times the size of Singapore or twice the size of Mauritius. So it's really not a day trip destination. It's actually somewhere that you want to have, I'd say, a minimum of a 2-night stay. So for this itinerary, I would definitely recommend have 2 nights there, especially for your luxury customers that want to have the time to take everything at their own pace and really see everything the island's got to offer. And to get to Kangaroo Island, you're looking at just a 30-minute flight from Adelaide into Kingscote with Qantas. So Kangaroo Island has been making headlines recently. An amazing headline was that Stokes Bay, so the beach on the north coast of Kangaroo Island, has just been named Best Australian Beach for 2023 by Tourism Australia. So that is a huge compliment, because I'm sure all throughout the week you've probably seen just how many beautiful beaches there are in Australia, and there is a lot. So for this Kangaroo Island beach to be named the best in Australia is a huge deal, and definitely something to make your customers come and check it out. I then just wanted to talk briefly on the bushfires, because I know some of you will be aware that there was some really bad bushfires that affected Kangaroo Island at the end of 2019 and the start of 2020. But just wanted to include this slide so that you can see exactly how well the island has recovered. You can see that just in the space of a couple of years, the island has really gone back to being that green paradise again. There is still parts of the island where you can see like charcoaled trees and bits of black around them, but it really would not dampen your customers' experience at all. The wildlife numbers are already massively increased, so they're still going to see an abundance of koalas, kangaroos, and they're already starting to go back to that part of the island as well, which is really good news. And obviously I can't talk about bushfires and luxury without mentioning Southern Ocean Lodge. So this was the luxury lodge, and actually one of Australia's most luxury lodges, that was sadly affected by the bushfires at the start of 2020. But again, over the past few years, they've just been really working on completely rebuilding it. They've got the same architect that originally designed it, which is great. So it's still going to have a lot of the same sort of themes around it. It's still going to have the same footprint. They're only extending it just slightly. So really great news that that's due to open at the end of the year. So reservations will be open in the next couple of months. So definitely watch this space because there's going to be plenty of people desperate to get back out there. But in the meantime, there's still a whole host of luxury accommodation for your customers to enjoy. To name a few, there's Ocean View Eco Villas and Sea Dragon Kangaroo Islands. Both of these are on really secluded bits of land that in itself is just incredible for wildlife as well. It's one of the things that most people sort of comment on after a stay at these two places is that first thing in the morning or even at night time when you're just relaxing on your balcony with, a glass of wine, you'll see a lot of kangaroos just hopping by the window, which is pretty special. We've also got one Kangaroo Island and Hamilton and June, which is more of your beach style accommodation, but again, that 5-star ultra luxury. And what I would say is after your customers have enjoyed their 2 days on Kangaroo Island, they can either just take that 30-minute flight back to Adelaide, or to add something different to their itinerary, I would recommend that they actually get the ferry to the mainland and then go through the McLaren Vale, which is one of the beautiful wine regions surrounding Adelaide. So to do this, they could book a private tour with the likes of Coast & Co or small batch wine tours, and that will take them through this beautiful wine region, but also get to enjoy some of the pristine coastline along the way. Another way to kind of just head back to the city without and taking another wine region as they go. And for the final night on this itinerary, I would recommend instead of going back into Adelaide itself, why not finish off the trip with a winery sleepover and stay in the Adelaide Hills? So this is a luxury lodge-style accommodation, 14 suites, all adults only, all with incredible views over the valley. They can enjoy a award-winning dinner or a dinner at the award-winning restaurant Hardee's, which is on site. It's got 3 chef's hats, which is the equivalent to our Michelin stars, and it's got a beautiful spa there to enjoy in the morning. But obviously that is just a whistle-stop tour through a 6-day itinerary in South Australia, but we do have plenty of other regions for your customers to enjoy if they have got a bit more time. We're lucky that we've got the Outback, we've got the Flinders Ranges, which is only a 5-hour drive north of Adelaide. We've also got the Murray River, which is Australia's longest river, just a 3-hour drive out of the city. And we've got the Eyre Peninsula, which is a 45-minute flight from Adelaide into Port Lincoln. And if you caught the session on Tuesday with Australian coastal safaris, you'd have got a nice glimpse into just how beautiful the Eyre Peninsula is. And lots of luxury accommodation in each of those areas as well. So Arkaba is one of the luxury lodges in the Flinders Ranges, which is your sort of homestead style accommodation. Luxury glamping on the Eyre Peninsula with Gawler Ranges wilderness safaris. The Frames is in the Murray River. It's situated just on the bank of the river there. So some really cool properties to explore. And this finishing slide is just to really sort of capture all the different colours, the different experiences of our stay. We've got the wine, we've got the food, we've got the wildlife, we've got the beaches, and we've got the outback. So your customers can really have that authentic Australian experience, but all within the one stay. So that's my details here. So if there's anything I can help with, please do reach out to me. I definitely recommend checking out our trade website, which is trade.southaustralia.com. And we've got some amazing content in images on South Australia's Instagram page as well. And it doesn't look like we've got any questions. So what I'll do is I'm just going to finish with a quick video of Kangaroo Island just to see exactly why it is such an incredible place and why your customers should have it on their list. But thank you so much for tuning in.